Hey guys, it's me! So today's video I was completely not planning to do, but I got home from work just now and I saw that YouTube, you guys, our community, Star Wars community, at least our faction of it, is kind of simmering with talk about this article that came out from CNN about 11 hours ago. So I guess like right after I went to work today, or maybe I don't speak math. But anyway, it happened when I was not around to read it, but like everybody's talking about it now, so I was like, oh, let me read this article. So I'm gonna read this article to you guys right now that CNN just released. All right, so it's not a typical video of mine. I don't even know what a typical video of mine is. I just talk about Star Wars. I'm new to this. I don't really know what I'm doing, but that's fine. Let me just read this article to you guys. Let me know what you think. Star Wars should resist bowing to the force of its most vocal fans. By Brian Lowry of CNN. Disney and Lucasfilm are dealing with the first conspicuous setback of their 5-year-old corporate marriage as Solo, a Star Wars story, has fallen far short of the gargantuan box office expectations. While the studio ponders whether that requires adjusting course, a small, rebellious, and inordinately vocal quadrant of the fan community is delighting in and driving an unfortunate message from those woes. Brian, you're catty. Solo delivered less than $30 million in its second weekend, plummeting by nearly 2/3 from its less than stellar opening, bringing its total just shy of $150 million. For a mere mortal movie, that would be just fine, but it's a pallid addition to the Star Wars universe, which has shattered box office records and routinely amassed huge returns. The subplot to that, and it's an odd one, comes from Star Wars fans who see Solo's underwhelming results as vindication, a blow against the Disney empire and Lucasfilm chief Kathleen Kennedy, reinforced by internet echo chambers in the way intense political partisans find like-minded brethren online. Oh, what? This guy's a prequel fan? I can sense. Just kidding. To you guys that like the prequels, I understand that. I do. I'm having more appreciation for the prequels as these videos go on, if you can believe it or not. I really am. Anyway, that sound you just heard was me picking up my sock. It wasn't any, bodily sounds. I'm a lady. At least when I'm recording. Let's keep reading, shall we? Sorry for the ADD. They harbor what is almost certainly a magnified vision of their numbers and how widely their passions are shared. I disagree. As Vulture's Chris Lee noted in a piece back in February titled "Why Do Some Star Wars Fans Want the Han Solo to Want the Han Solo movie to flop?" this subset of the fan base responded negatively, an understatement there, to The Last Jedi, the most recent Star Wars sequel, and called for a Solo boycott to vent their displeasure. First of all, I don't think this is anything. It might be due to the boycott, but I don't think it's just the boycott, because I'm not personally boycotting Solo, or anything Star Wars for that matter. I'm just waiting to the point when I hear something's actually good again, because after The Last Jedi and the mess of a movie that was, I won't even call it a film, because in my mind, the word film, the connotation of film, is something that actually has art and beauty and meaning in it, and there is none of that in The Last Jedi. I think they try to reach for it, but they're trying. They're not doing, they're trying. Rian Johnson specifically, because it's a horribly directed film at the end of the day. Let's be real. Okay. So anyway, I'm not boycotting Solo. I'm not boycotting anything Star Wars. I'm just not going till it's good again. You got me? That's what it is. Sorry. The way this guy writes just feels passive aggressive and catty, and almost like it's directed to, it's kind of like sucking at the space walrus teat of Kathleen Kennedy. I feel like that's who he's hoping is going to read this. And it's also undermining our community. We folks here who've been talking about how much The Last Jedi sucks and the direction that it's going in. But anyway, I digress. All right, where was I? Oh yeah. Part of us wants this film to fail. Joe Vargas, host of the Angry Joe show on YouTube, said at the time. I was thinking maybe if it does bad, Disney will be smarter with how they do these future things. Yeah, I agree. I definitely have that hope. Have that hope. They have also lamented Disney's rapid expansion and strip mining of the galaxy George Lucas created. As writer Danny DePlacido put in a Forbes commentary, Solo is Hollywood at its most cynical, squeezing every last drop of blood from an iconic character. Jeez. Disclosure, my wife works for a division of Disney. Okay. Within this circle, Kennedy and directors like Last Jedi's Rian Johnson are accused of spoiling Star Wars and not uncommonly ruining my childhood. I mean, not to be dramatic, but yeah, you kind of took a piece of my childhood away. Not in the sense that what you made took it away, but what you didn't make left a hole where the excitement was to reimagine what I fell in love with in my childhood, if that makes sense. We can expand on that another time. Right now, I'm just trying to read this article so you guys can hear it, see it, understand it, and I'm trying not to rant and do my normal, like, talk a million miles an hour thing. Okay, let me keep reading. See? I can't. I stay on target. It's damned. See, unlike Luke, who just, like puts his, his graph thing when he's in his X-Wing for targeting the 2-meter hole in the Death Star. Like, unlike him, who he can just use the Force. Like, I need that target thing like that, you know. Like, I wish there was like one of those for life. That's my ADD. Anyway, okay, let me keep going. I just liked that metaphor. Never mind that Solo is actually pretty good. Not from what I've heard. Or that Lucas, with the name Jar Jar Binks alone, made his own contributions to marring their young adulthood. True. When the blood starts to boil, sobriety and perspective tend to be early casualties. So catty, am I right? This guy. I mean, what is this man's name? Mr. Brian Lowry, you're a catty man. You don't look young enough to be that catty. Interesting. Anyway, that was rude of me. I'm sorry. I want to be positive. I don't want to be part of the problem. But anyway, as Vulture noted, there's no real way to quantify how vast this portion of the Star Wars fan universe is. I think there's this little website called YouTube where you can see dozens and dozens and hundreds and maybe even thousands, probably thousands at this point, maybe even hundreds of thousands of videos at this point of people that are unhappy with the direction Star Wars has taken. And stop saying it's white man babies. Do I look like a white man baby to you? Do I? I'm not, because I'm not. I mean, if I do, check your vision, get some backdrops in your eyes, because I'm not. I'm sick of people saying that. But anyway, okay, because I'm clearly not. I'm not a white man baby. Am I white? Mostly. But I am a man baby? No. My man? No. My baby? Sometimes. But not about Star Wars. I'm a connoisseur. How dare you? Anyway, oh my gosh, stay on target. So yes, there is a way to quantify it, mister. Indeed, with so many moving parts and variables to consider, it's difficult to grasp any clear message yet from Solo's underperformance. Yeah, I think you can grasp it. I think it's cause the last one sucked. I don't think it's because of the time you released it, or the weekend you released it, or the date you released it. Up until recently, every Star Wars film in history was released in May. And even aside from that, people are saying, there's the argument of like, oh, well, maybe it's just fatigue. You release them too close together. If someone released a Star Wars movie every day for the rest of my life and it was good, I'd see it. It's not the release time. You could have released Solo on my birthday when I had the day off work and it was raining and I had nothing else to do, and you could have told me that, well, actually no, if you told me it was good, I would see it. You could have given me free tickets on my birthday on a day that was raining when I had nothing else to do and I was all alone. And I have no problem going to theaters alone, by the way, because I'm an introvert, so I don't need people with me. And I still wouldn't have seen it. It's not the release date. It's not fatigue. Okay, sorry, I'm off track again. Okay. Okay. Which of course hasn't deterred the deluge of web traffic driven hot takes trying to do just that. Maybe I just fell into that category. Whoops. Disney/Lucasfilm, meanwhile, have little incentive to do anything but be respectful in addressing their most faithful consumers, since having people feel desperately invested in your product to the point of claiming a kind of ownership stake in it is the definition of a high-class problem. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, Lowry. More like rudely. More like lewdly. That was a bad joke. I tried to make it a thing with an L because Lowry, lewdly, not. That said, there's a slightly delusional quality to the victory lap being taken in comment sections and online forums, an assumption that these fans have made a statement that will only further embolden such demands. It's certainly possible that disappointment surrounding The Last Jedi, a sentiment incidentally largely shared by this reviewer, triggered a backlash that played a major role in Solo's weak opening. But it's beyond naive to think a subsection of fans can dictate Disney's broader strategy, since the studio didn't plunk down $4 billion for Lucasfilm to let it sit idle or allow a small mob with internet pitchforks to call the shots. Am I holding a pitchfork? Sorry. Just annoying. I'm so sick of these people being so negative towards our faction. Ugh, I feel weird calling it a faction. It sounds so militant. It's not. It's just, we understand what makes good film. We understand what makes good art and high quality media. And that's why we enjoyed the true, what I consider to be the best quality of Star Wars. That's why I'm a Star Wars purist, or whatever you want to call me. It's because I like the Star Wars that is actually well done, that is actually a good film. I'm not going to get into all that right now. As politicians have discovered, there are trade-offs involved in allowing the loudest and most belligerent voices, those prone to speaking in Sith-like absolutes, to define the terms of debate. Oh, you're so cool for using a prequel reference, Mr. Lowry. Hearing and being sensitive to what various fans want makes sense, but bowing to the force of a vocal contingent, one that's perhaps a small minority, is a road fraught with peril. As Han Solo himself once said, it's not always possible to fly by committee. I am not a committee. Anyway, that's the article, guys. I want to know your thoughts more than anything, because I haven't really processed this or absorbed it enough to really have any thoughts. And honestly, I'm quite a bit frazzled today because I've had 2 or 3 separate people today in YouTube comments tell me that I'm not a real Star Wars, not on my videos, but like elsewhere, because I'm all over YouTube watching other Star Wars videos. If you guys haven't seen me on this channel, on my own channel, you've probably seen me on other people's Star Wars videos and channels commenting, because it's just, this is my form of therapy. This is cathartic for me. I am processing emotionally I just created this, well, I didn't create, I created this channel years ago for a cat video and a dog video that I wanted to share with my friends and family. And I just recently, like a month ago or 3 weeks ago or whenever it was, made my first YouTube video as like a YouTuber person, because that was how upset I was by The Last Jedi. And so yeah, Nova's on top of the bathroom door again. Nova's my cat, if this is your first video watching me. And she'll meow at the top of the bathroom door until I pick her up. So I should get going. But anyway, let me know what you think. This is just annoying. This kind of, I feel like it's very, I don't want these videos, I don't want to add to the duress and the negativity that's already going on between both sides, because it's so polarized right now between fans, people who consider themselves true Star Wars fans. It's interesting to see what that means. And I just don't want to add to the negativity, but it's hard not to get sucked into it on an emotional level, because Star Wars is a very emotional thing for me personally. I know for you, a lot of you guys, so it's just, you know, it's hard. I want to be a positive person. Ideally, I'd love to like bring a balance back to the Star Wars community. I don't know if there has ever been since the original trilogy was released, but that's ideally, I'm an idealist, I'm a romantic. I would love for it to go back to that place that it used to be. But who knows if it'll ever go there, especially now with people like this controlling the direction that it's going in. So who knows? So on that slightly sad note, but also let's like try to end it with a little hope and positivity and discuss this in a positive manner where we can maybe come up with some new ideas and vocalizations of what we're feeling instead of just ranting and raving, because that's obviously not doing anything. Look at this guy, Mr. Brian Lowry, picked apart our small, you know, pitchfork wielding band of, you know, our pitiful band. I'm just picturing like the Emperor being like, yeah, pitiful band, you know, because at the end of the day, look at the original trilogy. You had this small group of rebels up against the entire empire, and they were calling them a little pitiful band and thinking that they could just wield power over them, you know, but we're the ones that care about the heart and the soul and the goodness of this and the quality. And it's not about being some white, fat guy living in a parent's basement. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with integrity, the integrity of storytelling, and the integrity of art. So I'm just like, I don't know. I don't want to be emotional and dramatic, and it's just annoying. I don't want to rant. I just want to, I don't know. It's really weird. I'm glad I have this platform because for a long time I took kind of a back seat on everything in life, I want to say. I mean, I love my job. I love my relationships in life. I love my family. I love where I live. I love exploring the world and just understanding life and from different perspectives. But I took a back seat on things that I loved, like Star Wars and film and television and good quality art and film and television and media, music. And I finally feel like this kind of like rallied me to the point where I'm just like, you know what? Like, I want to be heard. I went to college and studied journalism, and that's my cat. And I minored in film and film analysis and criticism, and I really thought maybe one day I would do that. And obviously I didn't, but this feels really cathartic for me, and it feels like a good fit. And you guys have been so great and so supportive. So anyway, before this gets too long, let me know what you guys think. Leave some comments. Let me know what your thoughts are on this article and just what's going on as a whole. Let's try to like talk this out and figure it out and maybe break some new ground, dare I say. Anyway. Always a pleasure, my friends. May the force be with you. Bye, guys.